It was well past midnight when Sarah and Mark arrived at the Crimson Hotel. They were exhausted from a long day of travel, and as they approached the front desk, the dimly lit lobby, an eerie silence seemed almost surreal. The receptionist, a man with a strange, unsettling presence, looked up and offered them a twisted smile. "Welcome to the Crimson Hotel. Just the two of you?" he asked, his eyes gleaming with something they couldn't quite place. "Yes, we just need a room for the night," Mark replied, brushing off the old feeling. The receptionist handed them the key to room 303, his hand lingering just a second too long. "Enjoy your stay," he said with a smirk, watching them as they made their way to the elevator. Sarah shivered, feeling his gaze on her back. Once inside their room, they immediately noticed that something felt off. The lights flickered, casting strange shadows, and when Mark pulled back the bed cover, they both gasped. A dark red stain marred the sheets. "Is that blood?" Sarah whispered, her heart pounding. Mark tried to deep calm. "Maybe it's an old wine stain," he said, though even he didn't believe it. As they stood there, a scratching sound came from behind the wall, stopping them cold. "Did you hear that?" Sarah asked, her voice barely a whisper. Mark nodded, but before he could respond, the faint sound of footsteps echoed in the hallway, followed by a chilly, gaspy whisper. "Sarah, Mark!" They froze, gripping each other's hand as the doorknob slowly began to turn. The door creaked open and a figure stepped inside, a tall, giant man with hollow eyes and a blood-stained knife. He moved silently, his gaze fixed on them with terrifying intensity. "You shouldn't have come here," he said in a calm, bone-chilling voice, raising the knife as he took a step closer. Sarah and Mark backed against the wall, fear rendering them motionless. Just as the killer was about to launch, they heard footsteps racing down the hallway. A voice called out from just outside the room, "Police! Police! Drop the weapon!" The killer froze, his eyes darting to the door in panic. In the chaos, Mark grabbed Sarah's hand and they dashed out of the room, coldering with two police officers in the hallway. "Get to safety. We will handle him," one officer shouted as they rushed past, confronting the killer. Sarah and Mark didn't wait. They ran down the stairs, passing other guests and hotel staff who had gathered in the lobby, frightened and confused outside. They found a place to sit on a hotel step, catching their breath and holding each other tightly. Soon, a police officer approached them, his face somber but kind. "We caught him," he said. "The man was fugitive, hiding out in the hotel and targeting guests. You are both incredibly lucky to be alive." "Thank you," Sarah managed to say, her voice shaking. "If you had not come when you did, a neighbor heard screaming and called us," the officer explained. "Sounds like you had a guardian angel tonight." As the officer led them to safety, Sarah and Mark exchanged a glance filled with relief and disbelief. They left the Crimson Hotel in silence, the night's horror settling behind them like a nightmare. The following morning, as they drove away from the hotel, Sarah glanced at Mark and managed a weak smile. "Next time, let's avoid the old creepy hotels." Mark laughed, though his eyes were still haunted. "Agreed, I think I have had my fill of thrills a while." They shared a quiet laugh, grateful to be alive as the hotel disappeared in the rear view. Now just a distant, chilling memory.